All right, so you're looking to kind of get a handle on what's happening with Bitcoin.
Right.
And turns out that path leads us through some pretty fascinating territory.
Yeah.
A potential peace deal, a
Right.
massive crypto heist, and even AI making waves in Dubai.
Wow.
Who knew Bitcoin was connected to so much?
It really is fascinating how all these seemingly separate stories
Yeah.
all tie back to your question about Bitcoin.
Right.
They're all pieces of the puzzle, I think, when it comes to understanding where Bitcoin might be headed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start with the current state of the crypto market.
Okay.
Our sources paint a pretty dramatic picture,
Yeah.
a real crypto bloodbath,
Oh.
as some are calling it.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is down, and that Bybit hack we'll discuss later is definitely having a ripple effect.
Yeah.
But here's where things get interesting.
Right.
Even with prices down,
Yeah.
stablecoin volume is actually up.
That is really interesting and potentially a really good sign. You see, when things get rocky, investors tend to flock to stablecoins, which are pegged to more stable assets like the US dollar.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like taking shelter during a storm.
Makes sense.
So this increased stablecoin volume
Yeah.
might mean investors are just waiting for the right moment to jump back into crypto.
Could that moment be tied to this potential peace deal that's making headlines?
Ooh.
A mineral deal between the U.S. and Ukraine brokered by President Trump.
Yeah.
That's not something you see every day.
It's certainly a major geopolitical development.
Right.
Our sources indicate this deal could mean stronger economic ties between the U.S. and Ukraine, which could bring much-needed stability to the region.
And I'm guessing stability is something that the crypto market loves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. Confidence is the fuel of finance,
Right.
and that holds true in the crypto world as well. When investors see political and economic stability, they're more likely to put their money in.
Right.
And that can really boost a market.
Now, our sources mentioned that this deal involves a pretty innovative financial mechanism, like
Right.
a special fund, right?
That's right.
All right.
We're talking about 50% of the proceeds from Ukraine's state-owned resources, including oil and gas,
Wow.
being funneled into a fund specifically designed to invest back into Ukrainian projects,
Okay.
and President Zelensky will be overseeing this fund.
Wow.
It's a fascinating way to ensure those resources directly benefit the Ukrainian people.
Okay, so we've got this potential peace deal,
Right.
which could bring stability and attract investment to the region.
Uh-huh.
How does that translate into a potential Bitcoin boom? Everyone's throwing around figures like $200,000. Is that realistic?
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
You see, increased foreign investment in Ukraine would lead to a higher demand for the Ukrainian hryvnia.
Right.
This could then spill over into the crypto market as people look for ways to protect their assets from potential currency fluctuations. And Bitcoin often becomes a safe haven in these situations.
So it's not just about the peace deal itself, but the chain reaction it set off in the financial markets?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that's been shaking the crypto world from a different angle.
Okay.
The Bybit hack.
Right.
$1.4 billion stolen.
It's crazy.
That's a staggering amount. The biggest crypto heist ever.
It was a major blow, no doubt.
Right.
But what I find particularly interesting is Bybit CEO Ben Zhou
Okay.
and his response to the hack.
Yeah.
He's launched this platform, LazarusBounty.com, essentially turning the crypto community into a network of digital detectives.
So it's like crowdsourcing an investigation.
Exactly.
That's a pretty innovative approach.
It is.
Yeah.
Users can earn rewards for reporting any suspicious transactions related to the stolen funds. There's even a 5% bounty for anyone who helps successfully freeze those assets.
Wow.
It really highlights the community spirit in the crypto world and how they're banding together to fight back against these kinds of attacks.
It's a fascinating example of how the crypto community is taking security into its own hands, even with a figure like Ben Zhou, the CEO, during the hack leading the charge.
Right.
But let's move on to something a bit more positive.
Okay.
The SEC might be on the verge of approving a Polkadot ETF.
Interesting.
What's the significance of that?
This is potentially a huge win for the crypto world.
Okay.
ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, make it much easier for bigger players, like institutional investors, to get into crypto.
Okay.
Imagine being able to buy a basket of Polkadot without directly owning the cryptocurrency itself through a traditional brokerage account.
Right.
That's what an ETF allows. And for institutions which often face strict regulations about what they can invest in, this is a game changer.
So could this be a sign that the SEC under the Trump administration is becoming more open to crypto products?
Possibly.
Because I definitely remember things being a bit more, shall we say, frosty in the past.
You're picking up on a trend a lot of analysts are noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Grayscale, the company behind the largest Bitcoin trust, has been pushing hard for crypto ETFs.
Right.
First, they tried to convert their XRP trust,
Okay.
then launched a Cardano fund,
Mm-hmm.
and now this Polkadot ETF filing.
Right.
It seems there's real momentum building, and the chances of approval for this Polkadot ETF are looking pretty good.
That's great.
If you're interested in following this closely, I'd suggest checking out Eric Balchunas on Twitter.
Okay.
He's a great resource for ETF news.
We'll make sure to include a link in the show notes.
Awesome.
But before we get too excited about Polkadot, there's another development in the crypto world that's worth celebrating.
Oh, really?
Uniswap just emerged victorious from an SEC investigation.
Wow.
This has huge implications for the whole decentralized finance space, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The SEC closed its investigation into Uniswap without taking any enforcement action.
Wow.
This is a major victory not just for Uniswap, but for decentralized finance, or DeFi as a whole. Essentially, DeFi aims to recreate traditional financial services, like lending and trading, but on a blockchain, cutting out the middlemen like banks.
So the fact that Uniswap came out unscathed is a sign that regulators are starting to understand how these decentralized platforms can operate within existing legal frameworks.
Right.
This could pave the way for more DeFi projects to flourish, right?
It's certainly a positive signal.
Yeah.
It suggests that regulators are willing to take a nuanced approach to DeFi, recognizing its potential while addressing concerns about investor protection.
Right.
This case could set a precedent for how DeFi interacts with regulations moving forward.
Okay.
Now, speaking of innovative technology, let's take a trip to Dubai, where they're doing some fascinating things with AI.
Okay. You've got my attention.
All right.
Dubai has always been a hub for pushing boundaries, but what's happening in the AI space that's caught your eye?
Well, the General Directorate of Residency and Foreign Affairs, or GDRFA, just launched a new AI platform called Salama. Think of it as a super efficient, AI-powered assistant for anything and everything related to residency services in Dubai.
Interesting. So instead of navigating a maze of paperwork and waiting in lines, residents can handle everything online.
Right.
From visa renewals to residency cancellations, all thanks to Salama.
Yeah.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
It really does streamline the process.
Yeah.
Our sources highlight the incredible speed of this platform.
Okay.
Visa renewals that used to take days or even weeks can now be completed in mere seconds.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's a game changer for a city like Dubai,
Right.
which welcomes people from all over the world.
And it's not just about speed. Salama supports over 40 languages,
Right.
making these essential services accessible to a diverse population.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
It sounds like Dubai is really setting a new standard for efficiency and convenience when it comes to government services.
I think so.
But they're not stopping there. Dubai is also embracing the power of AI in other areas, right?
Absolutely. Meta, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, just launched its own AI tool, Meta AI, in the Middle East and North Africa region.
Oh, wow.
This is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's giving everyone in the region free access to some powerful AI capabilities right at their fingertips.
Free access. What exactly can people do with Meta AI?
It's integrated into the platforms people are already using every day: Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger.
Okay.
And you don't even need to sign up or download anything extra.
That's great.
Just look for the blue circle icon.
Okay.
From there, you can access features like text generation, image creation, and even image animation.
Oh, wow.
Imagine being able to turn a simple drawing into a moving animation,
Well,
all with a few taps on your phone.
okay, so we've got Dubai streamlining residency services with Salama
Right.
and Meta,
Yeah.
making these AI tools readily available to millions across the region.
It's pretty remarkable.
He feels like we're witnessing the birth of an AI revolution in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
What are the broader implications of this?
It's about more than just convenience.
Yeah.
These AI tools have the potential to reshape entire industries, everything from healthcare and education to tourism and entertainment.
Wow.
For example, imagine using Meta AI to plan a trip to Dubai.
Okay.
You could ask it to create a personalized itinerary based on your interests, budget, and travel dates.
Uh-huh.
It could even suggest hidden gems and local experiences that you wouldn't find in a typical travel guide.
Now that you mentioned travel planning, it makes me think about all the other ways AI could be used to solve everyday problems.
Right.
It's pretty exciting to imagine what the future holds.
Yeah.
But of course, with any new technology, there are always potential risks and ethical
Yeah.
considerations.
You're right. We need to be mindful of the potential downsides
Mm-hmm.
and ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
Right.
For example, there are concerns about data privacy bias in algorithms and the potential for job displacement.
Yeah, those are big ones.
These are complex issues that require careful consideration as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
It's a reminder that even with all the potential benefits of AI, we can't just blindly embrace it without thinking about the consequences.
Exactly.
Now, before we get too deep into the ethics of AI, let's loop back to the crypto world for a moment.
Okay.
We discussed the Bybit hack and how Ben Zhou is leading the charge to recover the stolen funds.
Right.
But the fact remains that this happened under his watch.
Uh-huh.
It makes you think about leadership and accountability in the crypto space.
You've hit on a crucial point.
Yeah.
This incident raises questions about the responsibility of leaders in this relatively new industry.
Right.
As the crypto world matures, we can expect to see greater emphasis on security protocols, risk management, and transparency.
Uh-huh.
This is all part of the growing pains of a nascent industry.
It's almost like comparing it to the Wild West, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Lots of opportunities, but also plenty of risks.
Definitely.
And it takes strong leadership to navigate that kind of environment.
For sure.
Speaking of navigating, let's steer our conversation back to the potential Polkadot ETF approval.
Ah, yes, the SEC and crypto.
Yeah.
It seems they're constantly playing a game of cat and mouse.
Right.
But this potential ETF approval could be a real turning point for the industry.
Okay.
Remember, ETFs provide a more regulated and accessible pathway for institutional investors to enter the crypto market.
Right.
And that influx of institutional money could have a major impact on the entire crypto ecosystem.
So what you're saying is if this Polkadot ETF gets the green light,
Aha.
it could open the floodgates for more institutional investment,
Yeah.
which could then lead to greater stability and potentially higher prices across the board.
It's certainly a possibility.
That's a pretty compelling case for why we should be paying attention to this development.
Absolutely.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era for Crypto One where it's not just about tech enthusiasts and early adopters,
Yeah.
but about mainstream acceptance and integration into the traditional financial system.
It's certainly a possibility. And this potential Polkadot ETF approval could be a major catalyst for that shift.
Right.
You see, when institutional investors get involved, it brings a level of legitimacy and stability
Okay.
that can attract even more investment.
Right.
It's a bit like a snowball effect.
So are we talking about Bitcoin reaching those astronomical price predictions we hear so often?
Maybe.
Could this ETF approval be the push it needs to hit, say, $200,000?
While predicting exact prices is always tricky,
Right.
the potential is certainly there.
Okay.
Increased demand from institutional investors,
Yeah.
fueled by easier access through ETFs, could drive up the price of Bitcoin.
Hmm.
And remember, Bitcoin often acts as a bellwether for the entire crypto market.
Right.
So a Bitcoin surge could lift other cryptocurrencies as well.
That makes sense. But let's not forget the SEC hasn't always been crypto's biggest fan.
Right.
What's changed? Why are they seemingly warming up to products like a Polkadot ETF now?
Well, regulation is an evolving process,
Right.
and the SEC's approach to crypto is no exception. As the industry matures and demonstrates its willingness to work within regulatory frameworks, we can expect to see more openness to innovative products like ETFs.
Uh-huh.
And under the Trump administration, there seems to be a growing recognition of the potential benefits of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies.
So it's a combination of a maturing industry and a potentially more crypto-friendly regulatory environment.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a fascinating insight. It really highlights how intertwined the crypto world is with the broader political and financial landscape.
Definitely.
But let's bring this back to you, the listener.
Okay.
Why should you care about a potential peace deal in Eastern Europe,
Right.
a crypto hack,
Uh-huh.
AI advancements in Dubai,
Right.
and the SEC potentially approving a Polkadot ETF?
Because these seemingly disparate events are all connected.
Okay.
They paint a picture of a world where geopolitics, technology, and finance are converging in ways we've never seen before.
Right.
And these shifts will have real-world implications for all of us, whether we're actively involved in crypto or not.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads,
Yeah.
and the path we choose will determine the future of finance technology and even global power dynamics.
It's true.
It's a bit daunting,
Yeah.
but also incredibly exciting.
It's a time of tremendous change and uncertainty,
Right.
but also a time of immense opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's why staying informed and engaged is more important than ever.
Okay, so to wrap things up, we've taken a deep dive into the forces shaping the future of Bitcoin and the crypto world.
Right.
We've explored how a potential peace deal could bring stability and investment to a volatile region, how a massive crypto heist is prompting the community to take security into its own hands,
Yeah.
and how AI advancements are poised to revolutionize everything from government services to everyday life.
And we've examined how the SEC's evolving stance toward crypto,
Right.
particularly with the potential approval of a Polkadot ETF, could pave the way for mainstream adoption and integration into the traditional financial system.
It's a lot to process.
I know, right?
But as we've seen, it's all connected.
It really is.
The future of crypto is inextricably linked to the broader trends shaping our world, geopolitics, technology, and the ever-evolving landscape of finance.
We encourage you to continue exploring these topics,
Yeah,
to question assumptions, and to form your own opinions.
right.
Because ultimately, the future is what we make it.
And on that note, this concludes our deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Until next time, stay curious.